So this is the Archetypes and Hero Journey PowerPoint continued, and we're going to review the hero's journey and then talk about archetypes in detail. All stories consist of common structural elements of stages found universally in myths, fairy tales, dreams, and movies. These 12 stages compose the hero's journey. And what we're going to look at is a simple overview of each stage, illustrating basic characteristics and functions. This will be a quick reference guide for you to explore genres of literature and even movies. The paradigm that we're talking about here illustrates the traditional hero's journey as seen in the majority of stories. And as you explore film and other genres, you'll find that the hero's journey provides a flexible and adaptable model with the potential for an infinite variety of shapes and progression of stages. Some of the journey stages can be avoided, repeated, or shifted about depending upon the needs of the individual story. So it's a little bit flexible. Here's a visual of the hero's journey, the cycle of stages that a hero must go on. So the symbolism of the journey stages, such as crossing the threshold, approaching the inmost cave, returning with the elixir, they can easily mislead us into seeing that the paradigm as representing a purely physical journey. Indeed, the hero does take a physical, active part on the journey to solve a problem or achieve a goal, but the hero's journey is as important an emotional or psychological journey as it is physical. So a character's actions and decisions in response to the journey stages can reveal the character arc. The character arc is what this is called, or the phases of growth that a character experiences during the course of the story. So this picture illustrates the character arc, and there are little icons that indicate each step in the journey. So as a review, here are the steps in the hero's journey. So it starts off with the ordinary world. This is where we get to know the hero and identify with him before the journey begins. And since the audience usually experiences the journey through the hero's eyes, we have to be able to relate to him. So in the ordinary world, that is where we, the audience, get the opportunity to identify with the hero's drives, urges, problems, things like that, while showing the unique characteristics and flaws that make him three-dimensional. The hero's inner and outer problems can be established, although these can change depending on the demands of the journey. So every story involves a problem, or that's what we'll call the central dramatic question. The central dramatic question disrupts the ordinary world. So the hero must enter the special world to solve the problem, answer the dramatic question, and return balance. The ordinary world allows the storyteller to contrast the ordinary and special worlds. And also in the ordinary world, we see the hero's home, the safe haven upon which the special world and the journey's outcome must be compared. After that, we have the call to adventure. This sets the story, it gets the story rolling by disrupting the comfort of the hero's ordinary world by presenting a challenge or quest that must be undertaken. This call throws the ordinary world off balance and establishes the stakes involved if the challenge is rejected. Often, this call to adventure is delivered by the herald archetype, which we'll talk about later. It can take a multitude of forms, including a message or announcement, a sudden storm, the arrival of the villain, a death, an abduction, a dying man's words, for examples. The hero may need a succession of calls before finally realizing that a challenge must be met, or that his only means of escape is the special world. And many times in a story, the hero must choose between two conflicting calls. After that is a refusal of the call. The hero refuses the journey because of fears and insecurities that have surfaced from the call to adventure. The hero is not willing to make changes, preferring the safe haven of the ordinary world. In the stage, the refusal of the call is an essential stage that communicates the risks involved in the journey that lies ahead. Without risk and danger or the likelihood of failure, the audience will not be compelled to be a part of the hero's journey. So that's a really important part of the character arc. After that, the hero meets a mentor to gain guidance, confidence, insight, advice, training, magical gifts in order to overcome those initial fears and face the threshold of the adventure. The mentor has survived the mentor has survived this type of challenge before. And the mentor may be a physical person, or it could be an object. So something like a map, a logbook, even hieroglyphics. In Western and detective stories, the hero may hold this inner mentor, which is the strong code of honor or justice that guides him through the journey. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. Crossing the threshold signifies that the hero has finally committed to the journey. He is prepared to cross the gateway that separates the ordinary world from the special world. The crossing may require more than accepting one's fears, a map, or a swift kick in the rear from the mentor. This event will reestablish that central dramatic question that we talked about earlier. It propels the story forward. In this event, the hero is directly affected. Okay, this is where the stakes are raised. It forces an action of the hero. Outside forces may push the hero ahead, such as an abduction of someone close to the hero. A chase may push the hero to the brink, presenting no choice but to commit. Or even the hero may cross the threshold with guns blazing and whips cracking. It could look a lot of different ways. Having crossed the threshold, the hero faces tests, encounters allies, and confronts enemies. And this is where he learns about the rules of the special world that he's just gotten into. This stage is important for the hero and the audience. Whether entering the imaginary world of a future society or the emotional realm of romantic love, the test stage is our first look at the special world and how its conditions and inhabitants contrast with the hero's ordinary world. The hero needs to find out who can be trusted. Allies are earned, a sidekick may join up, or an entire hero team is forged. Enemies and villains are encountered. A rival to the hero's goal may reveal himself. The hero must prepare himself for the greater ordeals yet to come, and needs this stage in order to test his skills and powers, or perhaps seek further training from the mentor. This initiation into the special world also tests the hero's commitment to the journey and questions whether he can succeed. Then the hero must make the preparations needed to approach the inmost cave that leads to the journey's heart, or the central ordeal. Maps may be reviewed, attacks planned, a reconnaissance launched, and possibly the enemy's forces whittled down before the hero can face his greatest fear or the supreme danger lurking in the special world. The confident hero may bypass these preparations and make a bold approach to the inmost cave. The hero has survived his descent into the special world. Here, also, a hero's team may have hit setbacks during the tests, and the approach is necessary to reorganize the depleted tanks, remember the dead and wounded, and rekindle morale with the hero's or mentor's rally cry. The approach may signal a ticking clock or a heightening of the stakes, for instance. Then the hero engages in the ordeal, the central life or death crisis, during which he faces his greatest fear. Okay, put a star by that one. That's important. He confronts his most difficult challenge, or even experiences death, literal or figurative. His journey teeters on the brink of failure in this stage. The ordeal is the central, essential, and magical stage of any journey. Only through death can the hero be reborn, experiencing a resurrection that grants greater powers or insight to see the journey to the end. The hero may directly taste death, or witness the death of ally or a mentor, or even worse, directly cause that death. The ordeal may pit hero against shadow or villain, and the hero's failure heightens the stakes and questions the journey's success. After that is the reward stage. The hero has survived death, overcome his greatest fear, slain the dragon, or weathered the crisis of the heart, and he now earns the reward that he sought. The hero's reward comes in many forms. It can be a magical sword, an elixir, greater knowledge or insight, reconciliation with a lover, things like that. The hero gets the right to celebrate, and the celebration not only allows the hero to replenish his or her energy, but also gives the audience a moment to catch their breath before the journey resumes to its climax and resolution. Then the hero must finally recommit to completing the journey and accepting the road back to his ordinary world. A hero's success in the special world may make it difficult to return. The road back needs an event that will push the hero through the threshold back into the ordinary world, and this event should reestablish that central dramatic question, pushing the hero to action and heightening the stakes. In romance and action adventure, for example, the road back may be a moment when the hero must choose between the journey of a higher cause versus the personal journey of the heart. The hero faces the resurrection, his most dangerous meeting with death. This final life and death ordeal shows that the hero has maintained and can apply all that he has brought back to the ordinary world. This ordeal and resurrection can represent a cleansing or a purification that must occur now that the hero has emerged from the land of the dead. The hero is reborn or transformed with the attributes of his ordinary self, in addition to the lessons and insights from the characters that he has met along the road. The resurrection may be a physical ordeal or a final showdown between hero and shadow. However, the ticking clock of the road back has been set. Other lives or an entire world may be at stake, and the hero must now prove that he has achieved heroic status and willingly accept his sacrifice for the benefit of the ordinary world. Other allies may come to the last-minute rescue to lend assistance, but in the end, the hero has to rise to the sacrifice at hand. And then lastly, the return with the elixir is the final reward earned on the hero's journey. The hero has been resurrected, purified, and has earned the right to be accepted back into the ordinary world and share the elixir of the journey. The true hero returns with an elixir to share with others or heal a wounded land. The elixir can be a great treasure or magic potion. It could be love, wisdom, or simply the experience of surviving the special world. Even the tragic end of a hero's journey can yield the best elixir of all, granting the audience greater awareness of us and our world. The hero may show the benefit of the elixir, using it to heal a physical or emotional wound or accomplish tasks that had been feared in the ordinary world. The return signals a time when we distribute rewards and punishments or celebrate the journey's end with revelry or marriage. The elixir may bring closure to the journey and restore balance to the ordinary world. Possibly it poses questions and ambiguities that continue the journey beyond the final fade out. In most tales, the return with the elixir completes the cycle of this particular journey. Storylines have been resolved, balance has been restored to the ordinary world, and the hero may now embark on a new life, forever influenced by the journey traveled.